Good day, people. I'm waiting for my invite button to pop up. There it is. Just sending out some invites, guys. Um, I always try to provide some elevator music or something while y'all waiting. So, the song I definitely have in mind today is Sister. Sister, you've been on my mind. Oh, sister, we're two of a kind. So, hate the movie, but I love the song. Sister, we sure ain't got a whole lot of time. It only allows me to invite certain people. I can do it on the computer. I bet you think I don't know nothing but singing the blues. Oh, sister, have I got news for you? So, sister, um, okay, I see. I gotta put up the individual letters and all this nonsense. So, guys, today, the intelligence of the divine feminine. When I say uh, this, this has been giving me so many epiphanies and teaching me so many things within the past couple of days that I've just been like, holy shit, I thought I knew something. And that's kind of way this journey has definitely been for me. That shit spirals. You know what I'm saying? You would think that you have such an in-depth understanding and knowledge of something just to come back around and have that shit just like, bitch, you ain't no shit, calm down. Okay, I'm gonna invite this person on my page by the name of Pootie Tang with the face from the movie on there just because it's hilarious. All right, I'm done. I'm done. Hey guys. Oh goodness. It was okay. Hi, Nikki, good day. Alan, thank you so very much. Always super supportive. See, that's why I stopped doing them on my phone. Demaria, good day. Talisha, Javon, thank you. Brianna, hey. Khalifa, good day, goddess. How you doing? Um, you see the sun another day. Yes. Sapio Love, good day. Good day. Sapio Love, please forgive me. You did tell me about Sundays. I'm so sorry. It has been so much going on. I am working on my organization. However, no excuse, and I will be on and popping next Sunday if you will still have me. So, um, hopefully this lighting is good. Forgive the super puffy face. I was doing a whole hella shitload of crying this weekend, making space, making space, creating room for things, right? But I just wanted to share with you guys a couple of the epiphanies that the divine feminine dropped me through this weekend. But before I do that, I just wanted to start out and say, basically what's happening, right, is that we all have different value systems, guys. Those value systems have been defined based on the way we were raised up, how we were raised up, the locations where we were raised up, the specific programming that we got, right? Those are the things that define our value systems. And then, of course, for some people, coming into the fact that they can begin to define their own value systems, regardless of that shit, all of that shit that I just mentioned. So what's happening a lot, right, is that, say, for instance, my number one is your number six on the value systems. And in the value system, we're talking about things like what place in your life does career hold? Does relationships hold? Does I don't know, personal advancement, whatever is the thing that's super important to you that you're putting your focus on, and the different things within your life that cause the totality of you. That's what your value system is. Okay. Now, what's happening is because everybody's value system is different, right? So my number one might be your number six. But what's happening is that if your number one isn't my number one, we are basically labeling the person, oh, this person's trash, or whatever label it is that we want to put to them, not realizing that the only thing that is showing us is that based in our own perception, where that person is in the journey. And your perception may not even be what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, and it can't be what it is for that person because you did not, even people, the same siblings with the same parents still sometimes come up with different value systems, showing you how fucking beautifully unique we are. So, Grand Rising, Isaac. Right? We're under spell these days, right? The newest thing is throw the whole person away, right? Okay, what I'm gonna say is this: is that just because somebody is in a particular place right now on their journey, that is really not completely an indication entirely of where they will end up, who it is that they will become, or any of that. There were teachers that we saw rising in the conscious community, and then boom, some shit came out about them that they were in a specific place in their journey where they were still dealing with some crazy fucking shit, and really could only teach us in one particular aspect of that, but couldn't in others. And we saw what happened. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with me. I had teachers when I started this about 4 to 5 years ago that had been studying 20, 30 fucking years. You know what I'm saying? And some of those teachers saw me coming up fast as fuck behind their ass. You know what I'm saying? Where I was when they met me was not an indication of the information that I was going to be able to take in or who it is that I'm becoming. It was simply where they had met me on my journey and however much I was open to. But guys, regardless, consciousness is not a fucking race. You know what I'm saying? Really, it's not. The way I likened it, the way I even described it to one of my coworkers yesterday was like, I feel like some of us, right, that are tribing and clicking up together is that we're in a relay, right? So boom, if there's a specific subject that I come running up through, you know what I'm saying? Footsteps, like they say in Madden. I'm running up through that shit. I'm going to provide that to you, right? Reach that information out to you, and then I'm going to slingshot that ass. Boom, catapult you up. I would hope, right, that is going to work that way for me as well. Boom, you running past me in a particular subject, right? It's some chaos magicians is flinging me the fuck through the universe right now, okay? Because they need playing. And I'm just like, holy shit, flying through. But then there's certain things I come back and I show them, boom. And that's what we doing. We leapfrogging each other, you know what I'm saying, through some shit. Now, why I entitled this The Intelligence of the Divine Feminine? Okay, so a few days ago, maybe four days ago, maybe, I put up a post, right? And what's so funny is, like, my sister could tell you, my sister Yanni, I was on the phone with her. We wasn't even talking about this shit. And out of nowhere, Joe gets this message. Put this up. See what happens. So I put up this post and it said, a lot of niggas love pussy, but not women. Now, what I got is, of course, a barrage of answers. Most of them were like, oh, it's happening on both sides. And I get that. Never denied that. I have the beautiful ability to acknowledge. and I've seen what's the energy, that acknowledgement, right? Especially of my own shit, where it has led me to. It was literally the door that I had to walk through so that I could gain power. You know what I'm saying? Perception places power. That quote came from Ayanna Williams. So I keep that sister on my team for that shit. So basically, that shit caused its own barrage of shit. Some people lost their whole entire motherfucking mind. You know what I'm saying? That shit caused its whole, and I was just, I was just thinking about it for the next few days. I was like, wow, whoa. And even my sister said, 10 words in a period. Flip some people on their head. And I was like, wow, right? That was, I guess, like that Kanye Gemini energy. Like I'm gonna just infect some shit. But right, what I was explaining was that this was not me bashing men. As a matter of fact, I understood the programming. I couldn't even be bashing just men by saying it, because there are plenty of women that are within the programming and they add to it as well. The example that I'm gonna give of that is that some women actually raise their sons different than their daughters. Now, I understand that the energy that we're working with within the genders is different. So there will be some differences. However, for instance, what sense does it make to teach my daughter that her body is an altar, right? And that she needs to be very protective of who she allows in this altar, but then teach my son it's okay for him to slap his dick all over every altar he sees, not realizing that his body too also works as an altar, and therefore there will be consequences with dealing with the spiritual energy and shit like that when we exchange fluids, people, or even just lay down together, right? That I don't think a lot of people understand. And therefore that's why, and then I even received the opposite perspective the next day, where a gentleman posted on his page and said, within the conscious community now, it's like the black woman can fuck as many and whoever she wants to, but if the man has the same energy, then, and I was like, wow, this is a new perspective that I had not seen or been gifted with, because in my personal experience, it's always been the opposite. But again, we're working from our own specific perspectives, right? But I was able to acknowledge that perspective, I'm sure, exists. I'm sure it does. But that was my statement towards it. That basically, guys, your body's an altar. Like so, whatever it is you want to do with it, you're the one that's gonna have to deal with that energy. You know what I'm saying? Period. That's what it's gonna be. So, but basically what I've been seeing, right? Basically coming to find out that the reason why I even posted that in the first place and all these things that it caused is because the moon is in Scorpio right now, right? This is the most intense sign of the zodiac. This thing is asking us to look at our relationships, is asking us to look at the way we view each other. It's wow. It's a whole lot going on. Because I was like, why the fuck did I even post that shit? She's like, I don't know. And then coming to find out that it was very, very in tune. My Lilith is in Scorpio. So this is some interesting information. However, right, I'm going to switch over to something else right now. The Kemetic tree of life, right? When I began searching out the information on this, I realized, right, that these different faculties are faculties that we kind of have to master, right? We get tested in all these different faculties, and then the law of zero is the law of Amen. That is like the space you get to in meditation where there's no thought, there's no emotion, there's nothing. It's just you and you're everything. You know what I'm saying? And therefore, there's no conflict or nothing. That space is just like that shit, and you can be meditating in that space and be gone in that space for what in the 3D life seems like a whole long ass time, and feel like you was just in there for 5 minutes, and you come out like, wow, 3 hours went by. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no time, not the way we view it in that space either. That space is that space, and ain't shit fucking with it. And that's where, right? That's where we should be attempting to go. I meant to print out a picture of the Kemetic tree of life before I started doing this, and I forgot. But right, for most of us that have seen it, if you haven't, look it up. Right, it's like these circles and then these double lines generally, which to me look like tubes, right? And it's showing you how all these faculties are kind of like connected to each other. And the way I saw that, right, with certain stones may vibrate on more than one space in the body. You might get a stone and they'll say, oh, this vibrates against your root chakra and your solar plexus chakra. Well, that would be because if I'm working on my root, which is connected to things like sex, survival, feeling safe, things like that, I may have to also activate my willpower, which is in the solar plexus or like the stomach area. You know what I'm saying? So it may be that I actually need to grab the energy from both these energetic wheels, right? And that's what's going to assist me. So before you get to the law of zero, you get to the law of Asar. That's basically you've passed all the other tests, and now you're at your Asarian test, right? And your Asarian test is basically to show, are you going to be able to function to get to this space where you can, most of the time or as much of the time as you need to, promote what's going on in the law of Amen. You know what I'm saying? That peace, that not coming from emotion, things like that. For many of us, I'm realizing, right, that we may have a severe aptitude in one area, and yet when it comes to another, we may still be working on it. Again, this is why the spell of throw the whole person away is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's literally, now you may not have to fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? You might not fuck with them on this specific level. There are plenty of people that I speak with, right? And they might be the shit in their knowledge. They might be the shit in the occult. But where they are right now, as far as what their experiences have taught them and where they're coming through with the way that they see the opposite gender, or even if they deal with their own gender, whatever the case is, that person may not be like you see what I'm saying, like a love match for me, but it doesn't mean that this person isn't definitely assisting me and serving me in other in other avenues. So I think maybe we should look at that, right? Because like I said, what the divine feminine showed me this weekend was some raw ass shit. And what it reminded me of was literally the scene in the Matrix, right? Where Neo asked the Oracle, am I the one? She straight up lies to this motherfucker. No, boo, you not. Without blinking, nothing. Nah, you ain't him. You all right though? You especially in shit, but you ain't him. And he's like, oh, okay. That's because generally we're on the inside looking out anyways. Like I said in plenty of other lives, it's taken a lot of other people to come to me and be like, Jill, you got this type of power, and you know what I'm saying? And I used to be like, what the fuck is y'all talking about? What are you talking about? I'm just talking. Right? And they were like, nah, deeper than that shit. But she knew what she was doing, because came time to when he had to go, right, go get Morpheus, which Morpheus was very, even though he may have been the one, he still had a team. He still had a crew. He still had a tribe. He still had a clique. You feel me? So when it came time for him to go ahead and rescue Morpheus or whatever, being told that he wasn't the one gave him the energy and the ability to advise the others that we need to go get him. If he had come out like, yes, I'm the one, that's it, none of you bitches are needed, thank you very much, go home, punch the time clock, tank or operator before you go, show me how to use that machine, and it's good, y'all go home. You know what I'm saying? It would have been a completely different fucking movie. But all right, Talisha, no problem. By the way, though, I would like to state for the next 3 days, I will not be available on my messenger. I'm embarking on my ayahuasca journey later on tonight. I'm super excited about that shit. It's going to take me 3 days, and I will not be talking to nobody while I do it. Or I mean, I'll probably talk to a few people, but I mean, as far as, you know what I'm saying, my messenger and all of that energy just being open, no. I will be journaling more than likely a lot of what happens, and then coming to tell you guys all that crazy shit that happened. Right? Being told that is, I'm so glad I didn't do this on my phone. Being told that is what gifted Neil the energy so that he could do what he needed to do at that time, right? But I've always considered that, like how funny that was, that she had the intelligence to tell this motherfucker no, realizing that he was going to need that energy. Um, so there are things, guys, that from time to time you will get a perception of and think that's what it is. You may be being placed in a position so that you can review some information. You may be getting placed at your Osarian level test. Some deep shit. Because I realized, right, with some of the energy that had come out from this, that I was being asked that when it came time for someone who was receptive enough to impart some healing, to explain some things that I realized that they didn't understand, right? And I came with that energy. I'm like, okay. Literally, one of my sisters, her name didn't come up on the invite list, but one of the sisters saw me do this yesterday. And real shit, I didn't even realize what I had done until she had reflected it to me. But, right, I got some information. Boom, somebody threw a rock in a pond and it started these ripples, right? So the very first ring or ripple that I had to master was frustration. I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? Sis, help me out. And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, calm down. You know how we get when we find out like somebody has said something about us or whatever, right? That's such an interesting energy. Who fucks talk about Jill? Everybody, nigga, so what? But anyways, right? So, all right, that first ring or that ripple, I get through that and I get to the second ring of the ripple, and that's sadness. And it's a severe ring or ripple of sadness, because I'm like, wow, why would they feel like that's the energy that they're getting from me? That's not the energy I was sending out at all. But right, it's this ring or this ripple of sadness. And I even begin to do what I used to do, why I embarked on this journey in the first place of healing. I was a ruminator, guys. Like, some shit would happen. Okay, and I'm gonna give an example that's probably common or at least known. I'm not gonna say common, at least known to most of us. Say, for instance, somebody cheats on you, right? You're in a relationship, you're in a monogamy type of relationship, and somebody cheats on you. There are some people, right, that they can process that and they're okay. The type of person I was before is I would ruminate. So now I have to review all the lies that were told to me during the time you were cheating on me, and all the times you came at me and tried to tell me I was fucking crazy when I was going off intuition and shit. You know what I'm saying? And now the shit is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's building. And before you know it, I am a fucking nuclear cloud and I'm killing everything, right? But that rumination, that sitting there, that repeating that you've been hurt to yourself over and 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 fucking over again, causes you to be bitter. It puts you in this space where you cannot see anything else but pain. And now every single other person in your life that says something to you, now for some reason we've slapped that mask on them, right? Oh, and now you're one of them. And that's not really what it is. But the brain is a wonderful storyteller, honey. It really is. And it can really tell you stories. Real shit. Right? So I even dip into that for a little bit, but the sister kind of puts me back. She's like, no, Jill, that's not what it is. And I'm like, and I'm receptive enough to understand that I'm in my emotion right now. And so I could use what she's saying. And I grab that, and I'm like, okay. So then I get to the third ripple or ring. Remember, this is somebody that's thrown a rock energetically. Like, we set off some energy, and then sometimes we don't realize what it is. So the epiphany that I came to, right, is because people are always like, this person made me mad. This person made me sad. They did this and they made me such and such. They didn't make you do shit. What they made, their energy grid along with yours, what they made was a circumstance, a ring for you to master, to see have they made you smarter. Have they made you to where you are able because I was thinking, right, maybe like, I don't know, I was on this thing like controlling the emotions, not having them. Again, it's not whether you have the emotion or not, it's how long you stay in it. So again, now I done got to the third ring. The third ring is anger. And this ring, if you can master it, boy, tap yourself on the back. Because now I get to the ring of anger, right? And I'm like, y'all already hear how much I curse in my lives. And this is mild. Fuck all that. Fuck them and fuck. Like I was snapping. Okay, it is what it is. And then, right? But I've also learned not to move from an emotional state. So I did not speak, right, to the object of the person that had thrown the rock in the ripples and caused them, knowing that I was in a space, and if we talked at that space, that more than likely what was going to happen is my focus was going to come down and my brain was going to tell me that I no longer needed this person, which is not true. Right? Okay, so I come out of that ripple. I master that ring, and I come back around to really just looking at it, an observation space on the outside, not, okay, what was this person thinking? Why would they think that? Then taking into consideration like their experiences and everything, I was like, the divine feminine will have everybody in your life in a whole motherfucking play. Do you hear what I'm telling you? An entire play. And the crazy part about it is the play is happening from my perspective to me. The play is happening from your perspective to you. And yet we're in the same play. This is why I can read a book and get some shit out of it, and you can read a book and get something else out of it. All types of shit, right? Hey, Munya, how are you? William, good day. Terrence, good day. Brenton, Miguel, Tahiro, hey. Monica, hey, sweetheart. Right? So what I did was like, okay, all right, damn. The divine feminine has set me up to see, am I talking the talk and walking the walk, or am I just about this bullshit? And I was like, yo, this is a perfect opportunity to impart some healing. And even though I felt this way, extend my hand and say, what do you need? Like, what do you need from me so that we don't feel this way? Because I can't honor the fact that these things have happened to you before, and that, you know what I'm saying, you may have just been in the moment. And what happened was that the person was not receptive. Right? And there I was on that ripple again. Frustrated, sad, and angry. But yet still not moving from that space because it's important to me. So it was when my sister Monica, real shit, was like, Jill, you just went through like the whole list of emotions. You went through the entire range of emotions in 32 minutes. She was like, I wasn't even really saying much. She was like, you were just talking. I was like, yeah, I was talking my ass off. I'm sorry. I'm a Gemini. I be talking my ass off. Right? But then when I realized that when she reflected that to me, that I pulled some type of Ouroboros energetic thing and went through the whole thing and came around and healed my motherfucking self and was like, yo, this is what's happening. Pay attention. This is what's going on. Right? And this is your role in it. This is your role, and you don't need to worry about nobody else's role. This is your role in it and what you're supposed to do. And is that person being receptive or not, is that going to throw your whole role off? Are you now going to be swimming around in that same motherfucking ripple and ring? Or are you going to master that shit? This morning I woke up, energy on the one. I'm not upset. I cannot wait to talk to this person. I was very blunt though. You know what I'm saying? That's a Gemini trait. We are blunt. I'm working on my tact. Right? We say what it is we feel a lot. And right? But I can't wait to talk to them because I realize that specifically is the role in the play that I'm playing right now. And like I said, the way the divine feminine set this up, and me looking at the intelligence of the situation and the way things were moved, I was just like, wow. And I just want to say, this is some shit that we cannot play with, guys. Like, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? We just can't. And the thing is, right, these situations, again, nobody makes you mad. They create the situation, beating up on your humanity to see if your godhood is about to get the fuck up. I told that to somebody the other day. I said, I love you to death. And I apologize if you feel hurt by my statement. But I'm beating up on your humanity because I see the God in you. That nigga's eyes got wide. And he was receptive for like 0.3 seconds and then it turned to something else. But that's the way it goes. This is a constantly a fight of the ego, right? And ego, again, is not pride. It's your entire identity. And so in the realization that we are killing off who the fuck we are, that is some difficult shit, guys. Anybody that is doing this currently, presently, give them some space, please. Back the fuck up. Let them do some shit, because guess what? This is a difficult ass journey. It is. I've had to kill off parts of myself constantly. But I like that part. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But the entire beauty of the situation and the realizations that came down to me. Okay, so boom, let's get back to this post, because my sister did tell me, she was like, until you finish this, until you do a live about it, because you actually were speaking from a place that a lot of women want to speak from, but maybe don't have the strength to, or weren't listened to, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, until you finish it, that shit is just continuing to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So here I am. Okay, so I thought, right, that I was probably a good avenue for that statement to come through. A lot of niggas love pussy, but not women, because I'm constantly bigging up men. I'm not a male basher. You know what I'm saying? I love men and the practice of connected tantra way, 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 way too much. I never tell y'all is not needed. not never in a day. Never. Okay. So what I think we're being challenged to do is to realize that we can state truisms about collectively what's going on without us taking the position that you needed to trash Jill or throw the whole Jill away. You know what I'm saying? But if you did, that's cool too. It's all right. What comes out of our mouths is a statement to what is going on in our own hearts and not the other person's. Real shit. Okay, so why do I say that? It's very funny. I mean, I probably got maybe to the 111th comment finally where someone asked a question and was like, well, what makes you say that? And I was like, wow. Finally, the question, or the acknowledgement, right? And not just saying, oh, well, women do it too, and this and that. Well, of course. Well, of course. And I can acknowledge that. And I can sit in that space and in that peace and be okay. However, if we got to understand that when we're getting ready to discuss something, if we're going to be doing nothing but pointing fingers without acknowledging a statement so that we can come back around to the other side, then we're going to be in the same place that we started off. We're going to be in that ring. We're stuck in that ripple. And Jill is about mastery. Okay. So, the reason why I say that, right, is because here in the West, and I've never had anybody, masculine or female, I'm sorry, people don't like the word female now, women or men, right, to ever deny this to me. I've never had not one person go in on a debate on this specific part with me, but yet when I said this, it caused a huge scene. Okay, here, I feel as though, and I could be wrong, but again, like I said, as many times as I've stated this, and on plenty of lives before, and nobody's ever said anything to the contrary. They've actually stated, yeah, this is true. Right? But the rites of passage here for men is pussy. You understand? You get to a certain age, right? And they tell, oh, nigga, you ain't hit that yet. What is you gay? So it's almost like you might not even want to hit that, but yet you're being placed in a position to state I have to basically defend my own sexuality, right? And the place where I am right now because I'm being placed up against this measurement. You know what I'm saying? And because I'm not doing the same thing as everybody else, of course, you already know judgment comes with that. It is a difficult journey, sweetheart. Exactly. The blame can go on and on, Monica. Exactly. On and on it seems to go. But you don't know what you've got to listen. Yo, crazy shit. So, all right. So, um, basically, what's happening is that that's a program. You see what I'm saying? The music lyrics and everything else, the music lyrics, even religion, all of those things, right, have played into a lot of the way we see gender roles and things like that, and the woman's place. All of the ancient civilizations repped a mother goddess, right? Actually, it was a hermaphroditic type of character, but when she was spoken of as having more of the feminine energy, which was nurturing and loving. And again, let me dispel this. When we say feminine energy, we are not talking only about women. Yin and yang, feminine and masculine energy exists within all of us. So what we are watching is the microcosm internally of that fight of the feminine and masculine energy on the inside being displayed on the outside in a larger version in the macrocosm between the genders. Hello. You see what I'm saying? That's all that is. That's all that is. So where your perception is and what you're gathering and what you're gaining from that really is going to be how you navigate through this life in this world. Not me. I'm just pushing out the messages that I'm getting. You feel me? That's it. So, and I even stated that, you know what I'm saying, in the post that I put on that this is programming. So it can't be me bashing you because I understand like this has been set up for a specific way, for a specific reason. However, we're going to have to acknowledge it first if we want to make some change about it. If you don't want to make any change about it and you think that it's fine the way it is, then that's fine. I can't dictate your value system for you. I can only dictate mine and then share with you. And then people that resonate, it resonates with, and those that don't, that's fine too. I don't have to throw you away. My rings are bigger than that. Okay. By the way, this is a tiger's eye stone. This tiger's eye stone I placed inside of a cage. They sell these cages at my crystal shop. But this is the tiger's eye stone. This stone is really, really good for making balanced decisions without the overbearing emotion, right? This stone, I think, is an awesome stone during this particular transit because, like I said, it was just calling up so many things for me. It was having me revisit relationships that I'd had where, yes, my pussy was put on a pedestal, but whatever the fuck was coming out my mouth was just like, oh, you're on some emotionalism shit, Joe. And I get that was a program too, that when I looked at, right, these specific partners I had previously, I realized that what they came up watching and shit dictated how they felt. And because I wasn't in a space back then of understanding completely before embarking on relationships or sexual situationships with people before, you know what I'm saying? Before realizing things like that, then now I had to deal with them afterwards, right? They say you can be speaking with somebody for a long time and really never know what's in the recesses of their mind. So it is what it is. But like I said, the realizations that I had coming from this and listening to both sides, being able to actually acknowledge these things, I realized that there's a huge rift going on between us. What's up, Nikki? And that my post was never put there in the energy of continuing to challenge this rift. It was put there so that we could acknowledge and we could see that this is what's going on. That's all. Now it may not apply to you personally. However, if you came out swinging, I'm just gonna lie. Like what I was always taught is that a hit dog hollers, but not always the case. I've spoken up. I've spoken up for people, right? And it wasn't even my situation or whatever. So again, that could just be my perception. You know what I'm saying? That could have just been me speaking from an emotional place. Who knows? But I am a reviewer. Oh, by the way, guys, this is my quartz spearhead, right? Somebody asked me if it was a shark tooth the other day. I'm like, it's clear. It's my quartz spearhead, provided to me by Alim 7X. Dope piece. And these two together are like, whoa. Hey, Cassie. How you doing? I'm talking about the post that I put up the other day that continued to cause huge ripples, at least within my life. And I'm like, what happened? Right? But we're going to have to acknowledge that this is a program that's happening, and that by sending young men out at a specific age, right, to go chase the box, you ain't hit that yet, but not also advising them that this box is attached to a person. It's attached to a being, and that being has their own set of things that they coming up with, and how the energy of this works. Right, then we're going to continue to perpetuate an idea and a realm that really the process of manhood is simply getting the box. Now, hey, Etchua, how are you? Now, is that a part of it? Again, I teach Tantra, and I feel like a man should definitely, both partners should definitely understand what heights of pleasure do, as far as opening up your centers to receiving other information. That shit goes deep. Okay, so boom, let me swing back around to this comedic tree of life thing I was talking about. So we each come all specific with our own, we each come all packaged with our own specific obstacles, right? The test for me may not be the test for you. The shit you struggling with might be some easy shit for me. Whereas this test that I'm struggling with, you might look at me and be like, what the fuck is wrong with her? She's so smart in those areas. How is that blocking her? That's my specific test, okay? The energy of Het Heru, right? That's related to the hips. That's related to visualization. Somebody with too much Het Heru might have been on back page. You understand what I'm talking about? Like that faculty may need to be cultivated so that it's balanced. Somebody who has their Het Heru cut off may be super prude, can't even get comfortable with their own partner, and has been having sex with the same partner for 2 years and still can't orgasm. Those are examples of, like me specifically, right? That was one of the faculties I had to master. Again, I came with my Lilith and Scorpio. I don't know if there's a woman on earth that likes having deep fucking sex more than me. I don't think she exists. I could be wrong, but I don't think she exists. Right? I've had plenty of partners to be like, fuck wrong with you? Nothing. Let's go. That's my specific one that I had to. And again, like I said, right? What's interesting is that when I got into Tantra and things like that, that's when the reverence for the act, that's when the information, deeper than just the feeling or me being able to translate what that really was and why it's so important and why the fuck, like that's not some shit that you just spilled to everybody. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that was my faculty, and I can get up here and tell y'all any fucking thing about me because I dabble in the occult, and the cult really don't care what the fuck you know about them. That's what it is. That was my specific test. It continues to be a test. Do some days I just want to scroll through my phone? Fuck yes. But then I'd be like, nope, that's gonna throw a rock in a puddle, and I don't want that ring. That's nope. Nah, meditate. Doing the Om the proper way. Because actually the Om, chanting it the proper way, can start that what we would interpret as sexual energy, which is really our life force. That's why I was so attached to that, right? Because I didn't see it at the time, but that's energetic life force. Like there was a reason why I was like, whoa, right? And so again, let's come back to the value systems. That's why I say, you see how intricate this shit is, and how you got to be rearranging the mental furniture in your mind so that you can come around to the perspectives that serve you all the time. Okay. Now, somebody who had a lot of the experiences that I had, a lot of people are probably dealing with those things right now in shame. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it was this. The way the programming of the world is that if a woman does the same sexual due diligence as a man, she's automatically kind of these detrimental words are used towards her, right? Auntie, Tantra, woo, Cassie, woo. Whoa, right? Okay, so. By the way, the tiger's eye, I am rocking it as a necklace. However, it is a really good stone to assist with the solar plexus and things like that. So it really, really is good if you're going to wear it lower, like a bracelet. If anybody makes waist beads out of tiger eye, please holla at me. Send the price to my inbox immediately before I shut this shit down. But yeah, I would definitely love some waist beaded tiger's eye. Dope. Yeah, she's called a hoe. And but yet when you go back to, like I said, doing research on these ancient civilizations, they use terms like sacred whore, but the energy around it was completely different. Those were women that were actually to be revered because they could set off that kundalini, that sexual energy in you. I've been attempting to understand this. Now, if you come at me with some real, just like you just don't even have no respect type of shit, then yeah, I'm gonna meet you with that energy. But it has been literally real shit, motherfuckers, men and women, who have jumped in my inbox and been like, I'm not really sure. I'm kind of frustrated, but you kind of caused this energy in me, and I'm trying to figure out like. And then we was able to talk about it. No, I'm sorry. I call it the ISIS frequency. And yeah, it does do that. It can have that effect. It does. So it's something that I had to understand and not just get angry when that was the initial response all the time, because I realized what it was doing. What I would challenge them to do is to take that energy and then to push it up the back of their spine. And then look up things like microcosmic orbit. So I'm saying it went further than what I thought it was going to, because I was in this deep journey of attempting to understand what these energies are about. So again, right, Heru may not have been the faculty that you came specifically packaged with a whole lot of that energy for you to pass that test. For you, it might be Heru Kuti, right? You might be a warrior. Every time somebody says some shit to you, you want to slap somebody. And you, you know what I'm saying? Get yourself in all types of situations because like there's no control in that area. Whereas other people might be calm. I don't need to throw you away. I might need a warrior on my team, but I might just need to understand how it is I need to work with you. That's all. God damn it. Can we grow past the age of 12? Shit. Damn. Right? But the temperance card was pulled for me this week. I am learning patience. I am. That's why I say I can see the movement of the divine intelligence, right? Of the divine feminine. Holy shit. And that shit surpasses what I even was considering, you know what I'm saying, what it could do in my specific life. Like I said, even when I gave the example of when I was coming into this information that there was the energy of the octopus attempting to get in contact with me. And if I were to tell this whole story, I won't now because this live is going to be extra long. But one of the things that happened when I started getting clues, things popping up in my life, pointing me to the octopus, I'm like, what the fuck? One of the things that happened was my eldest daughter literally walked up to me out of nowhere one day, and she's like me. She's talkative. It's never just a question. It's going to be a whole story. She comes up to me and she says, Mommy, is the plural of octopus octopi? I say, yes. She turns around and walks the fuck away. Later on, after I had my experience, I asked her, I said, do you remember when you said such and such? She said, yeah. I said, why you asked me that? Did you have a project at school? She said, no, I don't really remember. She turns around and walks away. I was like, what I can liken this shit to, right, is that consciousness is like a fungus. It will infect and it will move whoever the fuck it feels like so that you can get the information you need to get, including your ass. It will. Again, I don't know what made me put up that post. I don't know. Not at that time, you know what I'm saying? Not with that specific energy. Not for me to put that up there and not put anything else with it. I don't know. I was being moved. Like I said, later on when I would find out that the alignment of the moon moving into Scorpio, and that asks us to look at our relationships and everything else, right? That's when I would realize how in tune that shit was. But before, I was just putting up a post. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And they'd be so super in tune too, Cassie. It'd be amazing. Right? But so again, we may need to look at these spells. We may need to look at the things, throw the whole whatever away. I do not need to throw you away. I just need to understand what information, what you're rocking with, and how that blends. Because what it is, guys, is that we are all a music note. You understand? That's what we're doing. We're each playing a music note. So it's either that we can be clashing like a brand new ass band on the first day who've never played with each other, or we can learn to harmonize, play duets, and then she can play like an orchestra. It is what it is. I like beautiful notes. Right? So it's funny, I've likened it, and I used the word synthesizer before, but then when I looked it up one day, I was like, I don't think that's the right word. But if we remember these old digital like stereos, right? And when the music would go up, it would show you like the bass, the treble, you know what I'm saying? All that shit. And it would do it in colors. So you might have like 7 green notches, 4 yellow notches, and 2 red notches. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the note that was played and how hard it came through. And that's what we kind of are. You know what I'm saying? Those different colors, the amount of energy. If your root chakra is on the 1, you might have 7 red notches. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't really tapped into your heart center, your green notch might be on a 1 and everything. That's all it is. And we're attempting, right? We're attempting to balance that energy out and play the note that we're supposed to play, which is also being termed under the word purpose or whatever, right? But we're trying to figure out the note that we're supposed to play and play the notes with the people that we're supposed to play them with. And put out concerts like a motherfucker. That's all. That's all. Like y'all, we don't have to do that shit where we are coming at each other. We don't have to add to the energy, right? Boom. I wake up today, the first thing I see is like, okay, for instance, I put up a post one day. This shit was funny as fuck. I ain't gonna lie, right? It had, damn, I can't even remember the name of the character. The one with the multiple green arms from the video game, and it had the ponytail. Somebody help me out. But it was saying, right, how the meme was, oh, when your ponytail is snatched, but you don't have any edges. So it was funny, but I also put, sis, don't worry about it. I understand, though. There was some programming that was presented to us that only one version of beauty exists, right? And that it's that you have to have this long flowing hair or whatever, right? I won't lie. Every time I check out, like the grocery store or wherever, those scenes that are presented to me on magazines of what the standard of beauty is don't ever look like me. Right? So I had to learn or come to grips with, Jill, you can still represent your own standard of beauty, even though that's not it. But it took me a long ass time to get there. I ain't gonna lie. I was constantly comparing and placing myself up to what these standards of beauty are. So I understand, I understand, I overstand that energy that would cause somebody to keep doing something, even when it's showing physically that it may be detrimental. So what I did is I added to that and I put, sis, there are herbs. Check them out. If you're not happy with your situation the way it is, you can always change it. So that's how I took in that energy like a bilquist and then pushed it back out, but pushed it out with the message of healing around it. First thing when I step on this morning, right? It was that same type of meme, funny as fuck, but there was no healing energy around it. It was just you laughing because some women don't have edges, but not trying to understand what the fuck caused that shit, or send them energy to say your natural self is beautiful. Because I'm gonna lie, a whole lot of these people that are parading underconscious, right? If I put up say like a picture with a wig on it, I get a whole bunch of inboxes. Oh my God, that hair looks amazing on you. What about my regular hair, fucker? This hair looks amazing on me. Fuck wrong with you. But it is what it is. I understand that there is programming going on. So even though that was the response in my head, that wasn't the response I put out because I've been working on my tech. Okay. So, right? So we got to understand that these are the things that we're coming through. So again, right? And I think what really fucked them up on the post, and I didn't really get too many responses after that, is I started screenshotting all the times I have bigged up men. I was like, y'all in the wrong arena with that shit. You can't pull that shit here because that shit doesn't exist here. I love niggas too much. As a matter of fact, me and my younger sister, when we was younger, we was going to put out a mixtape. That shit was going to be called Turquoise and Black Boys. Fuck wrong with you? That was real shit. One of the songs that we were going to, she's going to kill me. One of the songs we was going to come out with was going to be called The Dick Up. Okay? Not a stick up, nigga, it's a dick up. And it was, oh my God, the shit that spirit moves me to say when I'm on live. Oh my God. Right? But again, that was attached to my Heru energy. That was, you see what I'm saying? So people could judge it all they want to. That has nothing to do with me. What your judgment of me has nothing to do with me. That's showing where you are right now. That's all. I'm showing you where I'm at right now. That's all. This is not a statement that this is all there is to Jill. And like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, like I be hearing that shit too with a lot of with like a lot of island families. They be like, imagine she not doing nothing with herself. Yeah. I mean, the girl is all of 21 and she's not a liar, doctor, mechanic, and everything else yet. What's she doing? I'm like, what the fuck? Can you let these people live and see what the fuck it is they come out with and stop judging them where they at, acting like because they did not fulfill your personal value system that somehow they're trash and need to be thrown away? Robert Greene was like 46, the nigga who wrote 48 Laws of Power, 24 Laws of Attraction, best-selling author. Got that cash right now. That motherfucker was 46. Like, yo, he said I was 46 when my parents began to wonder about me. I was living in a studio. He had 50 different jobs. That nigga sounded just like me. When I read his situation, I was like, holy fuck. He said he'd had 50 different jobs in the span of 2 years, none of them even being connected. So he wasn't moving up in the ranks in the in the same thing. He had been somebody at the desk when you go to a hotel in Italy. He had been a construction worker in someplace else. Right? So the things that people couldn't see were connected. In his mind, what he was doing the whole time was observing motherfuckers and was like, oh, okay. When she wants power, this is the energy she comes from and uses it for. When this nigga wants power, this is what, okay, and this is how I enact certain energies if I don't want to deal with none of that shit. That's what he was doing. So all of that shit literally was the experience, the perception he was gaining. Whereas a lot of other people, I'm pretty sure, until that book took the fuck off, was like, this nigga has no idea what the fuck he's doing. That's why I say your perception doesn't matter. It's that person's own. You feel me? Now, if you're close enough with them and they can come in and say, yo, like, your perception's a little fucked up right now. That's what I want. That's why I keep like women that I understand are functioning out of the divine feminine, especially women. It is what it is, that are functioning out of the divine feminine, because I want that divine feminine voice in my ear, because it might be a day where I wake up and my ego's on 10 and I might not be able to hear some shit, and I might really, really miss some shit I need to hear. I don't need to be thrown away. I just got turned around a little bit. Redirect me. That's all. Like, but if you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I think the way we respond to things shows our personal level of spiritual and emotional maturity. It is what it is. So if you spewed, that's on you, sis and bruh. That's not on me. I'm glad you love your hair, Nikki. I love it too. You seem to be aging in reverse, by the way. It's one of the things I be hypnotizing myself with. I be like, I'm youthing. I'm not aging. What are you talking about? I'm glad, Pilar. I'm really glad that that it helped. Marley, what's up? Shahara, hey, good day. Sometimes I'll be calling people's names that's not even on here. I'll be like, hey, Shah. I'm gonna go to like, who? Oh. Right? But when we are challenged to look at certain things, like I said, one of the best questions I ever learned to ask myself, right, outside of the emotion, is there a possibility that this thing could be true? So when I placed up there that a lot of niggas love pussy, but not women, that was the challenge. Whether it's happening on both sides or not, can you acknowledge that this thing may be true so that we can begin to heal it and talk about it? Talk about what it is that we can do. What is the new programming? With my son specifically, I'm constantly, like, there might be 2 days out of the week where I'm showing him into the mysteries and the beauty of what a woman is, explaining my own emotions at times. That means I also had to become very familiar with my own emotions, which a lot of us are not. A lot of us do not know ourselves, and we whole ass out here getting upset with other people when we don't even know ourselves. Let me tell you, one of the things I used to hear constantly all the time: Jill, you're so sensitive. Jill, you're this. Jill, you're that. Jill, you're this. Jill, you're that. And I would, knowing like fuck, I was sensitive as shit, which would turn out to be my energetic sensitivity and everything else, which now people are begging me, asking me, Jill, how do I get sensitive? Right? But for a long time, what I did was I denied that shit. I'm not sensitive. And then guess what I would do? I would close down my own throat chakra. Something would be bothering me, but because I knew that I was going to be called sensitive, I'd pretend. And then that shit would sit inside and it would start to spew until one day I just fucking blew the fuck up. And now the person looking at me like, and I'm like, no, all this time, you just, right? They can't hear me then. They cannot hear me. Sometimes people cannot even stand to sit under the vibrational weight of what it is you're carrying, because you decided to add and add and add and add and add to the vibrational weight instead of just allowing it to flow through. I had to take my personal responsibility in that, for me to realize my goal is not to crush this person. My goal is to communicate. Therefore, I should be free to communicate. And so when you feel it, Jill, say it. You might even be wrong in your perception. Be open. Is there a possibility that this thing is true? So after listening to the music lyrics of today, after looking at the fact that there was literally a whole campaign at some point in time that happened against the spiritual energy of the woman, even biblically, there's passages that say that the woman shouldn't be able to teach. I know that there were certain specific religions that didn't want the woman to speak. right? So we got to understand that this thing goes a little bit even deeper than boys at a certain age being told to chase the box, not realizing that that is connected, right, to something much deeper. Does this happen with women? Of course. Of course. Of course. However, right, if you notice, right, if I'm going to address the women, I'm going to address the women. If I'm going to address the men, I'm going to address the men. So, right, one of the responses I remember getting on the post was, "Oh, some things cannot be considered without both sides." Here I was, screenshot master again, where I put up this post one day, another post which had over 100 comments, whatever, that was like, "Black men, help me understand. What do y'all need from us?" And no matter what answer was placed there, there was no, "But what about us?" It wasn't. It wasn't that. It was noted. Thank you. I hear you. Thank you. Understanding. I'm working on this shit myself. Thank you. That's bullshit. Shit can be considered from one side if you want to. I'm not bashing them. I'm explaining to you what my specific truism is at this moment due to the choices that I made previously in my life. My children's fathers, well, one of them, right, he's definitely getting better and attempting to spend his time and everything else like that. But when it comes to monetary, nah, right? And it's only because I hate the system more than I hate that shit from them why they're not on child support. That's just me personally. Some women are in a specific situation though where they literally physically need that monetary help. And who am I to judge them because they do? Like, it is what it is. I'm not gonna tell you not put your baby daddy on there and y'all is eating fucking ramen noodles and hot dogs every goddamn night, because ramen noodles causes brain inflammation. It's not good for you. However, I have listened to I don't know how many stories from homeboys, people that I don't even know, just on the web saying, "Yo, like, this is fucked up when women put a nigga on child support and it's not for a monetary reason. It's just because they want to come at that nigga or they're upset about the way the relationship went." And I was able to sit there with two whole monetary deadbeats. The other one is just a fucking complete dead ass beat, and be like, "Yeah, that's true. That's true. Women, y'all need to stop that shit. That shit don't make no sense. You need to stop holding the child from the man. If he literally wants to be in their life and he's not proposing like a threat or some shit like that, then yeah, that's fucked up." And I could do that being in the situation I was in, realizing that my situation doesn't dictate what it is for everybody. So again, that was the energy I was attempting to bring. So if that's the case, if we're going to be like both sides do it, when these men were up here talking about their struggles also of child support, then I guess if we're just going to be like, "Oh, both sides do it," I guess my response logically is what you're explaining to me should have been was, "Well, it's a whole lot of deadbeats out here too, so well, both sides do it." What the fuck is that? That is not any energy whatsoever conducive to a solution. I can acknowledge that there are men out here who have not been receptive and opened up the energy in them enough to understand the importance of being there with their child. I can also, being as expansive as I wish to be, understand that there are some women who are using the child as a weapon, and that they're bitter, and that they're not moving from a place where really that action even makes any type of motherfucking sense. But I do also realize that it's a rock that's been dropped in a pond or a puddle. And these energetic things that we embark on create these ripples. So what I would admonish for the women that are doing that is realizing that you are causing pain to multiple people because you cannot get over the fact that you guys are not together anymore. Or maybe that he hurt you, or maybe that all the things you were asking for, it seems like, bomb, he's gone on to give somebody else, whatever the case is, right? But what you don't understand is that that ripple that you are causing is also causing a ripple in the child. And later on in life, these children are smart as fuck. You can tell them whatever versions of the story you want to. But when that child gets wind of the fact that their daddy didn't want to be with them and you were not allowing that, that child is going to give you motherfucking hell. That's your ripple and that's your ring. I realized that a long time ago, and no matter what it is I felt about my children's father, I don't talk shit to them about him. I don't. Even the one that's not around, even though she's a girl, right? But I do tell her, I said, listen, you're beautiful. I hold her face like this. You're beautiful. And I'm very, like, I have to apologize to you that that the choices don't have his hands holding your face like this to confirm you at the moment, to tell you that you are beautiful and you are everything. But I do realize that energetically, watching you begin to pad yourself with food, that you may feel that something's missing and you may not feel loved. And the craziest part about it is that when a man can do this with his daughter, right, confirm her and tell her she's beautiful a million fucking times over, then when you go out in the street and the first time you hear that shit, you're not like all gung-ho like excited because you done heard this shit a million times. It already came from your daddy. Those are things I gotta do based on the decision that I made previously and the puddle that has gone out from my energetic decisions. I can be responsible and I can master all them motherfucking rings. Lord of the Rings. Saturn. They call Saturn the great teacher. Thanks, Saturn. This shit goes deep as fuck, guys. So on an individual and on a collective level, right? Again, that's the energy we're in right now. We're being asked to look at these things. I'm being taught patience. Sometimes I can see around 30 corners and this motherfucker short-sighted than a bitch. And I have to be like, don't get mad. They can't see around the corner. Just try. Just try. I have created, like I had one of the rings I was in, I was mad. Monica tell you, I was like, what the fuck they think I've been doing? Been talking shit for 4 years on this goddamn lives? I ain't got no notes. I don't be reading this shit. Well, Jill, the energetic proportion of the magnum quantified. I'm not reading no notes. This is the shit that has happened to me and the shit that I've been working on to try to fix. And I don't know how many lives I had. I was like, yo, when I embarked on this shit, I used to call it the journey to fixing my brain, which means I had to acknowledge, I had to get to the portion where I could say, it's some fundamentally fucked up shit about yourself, Jillian. You need to try to fix that shit. I had to acknowledge that. I had to swallow that shit and be like, okay, it's cool, but can't nobody tell me I can't fix it. So that's that. So, yes, we have all been through some things from the opposite sex, the same sex, whatever, that has caused pain, that has caused different perceptions. Those things are being challenged now. And I think we need to just learn how to listen. If somebody's saying they're going through something, I don't need to compare my situation to yours for your situation to have validity. I'm going to say that again. I don't need to compare my situation to yours for your situation to have validity. Because I've decided I want to be a mental boss. I'm going through my journey to get to the law of Amen. I want to be in peace all the time. When I've experienced those moments, right, where spirit has let me in, sometimes in a way that is so dope, oh my God, to where people are like, how do I get that? Like that's become the superb chase for me. So however I can embody that, I will. Will I always have the perfect embodiments? Fuck no. But that's why I'm building this tribe around me, to be able to come and talk some sense into me, so that I pass my Asarian level test and I get there. So for some men right now who have been on this journey, right? They've been betrayed, they've been whatever the case is, da 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 da. For some, due to the programming, being able, keep this, being able to listen to the voice of the divine feminine when it's challenging internally, everything that they're going through at this moment, it's only their Asarian test. And I will do my best with every cell that exists to help you pass it. Because I love you. However, please understand that the divine feminine is working on some bird's eye shit that sometimes neither one of us can see at that moment. That shit surpasses. Right? So now with all these realizations, I'm like, yo, that's the space I want to work from. Real shit. I want to work from that space. By the time you see me coming, I'm 30 moves fucking in. That's the space I'm trying to work from right now. I done got excited. Thank you, divine feminine. Thank you for showing me the intelligence. Thank you for showing me how this can work and pull on people. And how we are always in this divine play with each other. We are just being shown. We are being tested. We are being given these levels to see, right, how far we can go. This journey is actually quite beautiful. It really is. It's just perspectives. Again, your perspective places power. So, I think finally I have done what Spirit wanted me to do, which was address this in a live, understanding that it can, I have some lives that I did maybe 2 years ago, and every once in a while I get a like on it. I'm like, wow, this thing continues to spiral up. And then people continue to come and ask me questions based on it. So I'm hoping, right, that this is my injection into the consciousness to just speak up for that voice of the divine feminine. And guess what? It's happening on the other end too, right? There are some men who are opening up to the divine feminine and they're able to listen, and other men who are not receptive are calling them names. So it's not just us that's getting it. It's niggas, dudes. A lot of people don't like when I use that word. It's men who are who are getting that too, right? It's happening on multiple levels. It's like a grid, guys. It's a grid. So I've got this energy field that I'm working with. You got your energy field that's working with. And now when we begin to combine them, it becomes a grid. And now these energy centers are working within each other. And do you see how many holes are there? That's as many different motherfucking perspectives and fractals of that shit that can exist. That's how many different plays are going on at the same goddamn time. Try to understand this shit without throwing motherfuckers away, because you might come to realize that you might need the knowledge or some portion of that motherfucker later. It is what it is. If you don't, we can just continue to be angry, and we can just continue to say, hey, both sides do it. Whatever your choice is, whatever your choice is. I know for me and for my children, like, I'm cutting off certain paradigms. Certain paradigms died when I got born. When I was born, right? I've decided through the way I was going to work that some shit's got to die right here. That's it. That's it. That's the challenge. That is the beauty in it all. Okay? So, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely open to the discussion going even bigger than that. What can we do? What are some solution mindsets to where we begin to understand, right, that these people, like I said, these people are an entire ball and host of experiences and feelings and projections and programming and all types of shit, right? And like I said, how you want to deal with that personally is up to you. I'm not telling you gotta fuck with a fucked up motherfucker. That's not what I'm saying. Internally, the goal goal is to get to the law of Amen, which is your peace. So if you cannot do it and cannot be in peace, I understand that. I get it. However, a lot of us continue to fuck with motherfuckers anyway, but then we just want to be mad and we just want to talk shit. What sense does that fucking make? So apparently, right? We're being called and we're being requested to put some healing on that shit. Like Frank's hot sauce. I put that shit on everything. Put some healing on that shit. Slap some healing on that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just about being able to step out of the ego. And right, the 11 laws of God. For a long time, the one that helped me, right? I would fall into this perception. I was like, gone, doing that rumination shit. The one that helped me was the law of Heru. Damn, the intelligence. Shit. Okay, so I was talking about the law of Heru, right? And how that's like if you got too much Heru, literally, you could have been selling pussy on Backpage. that's how that shit will affect you if you're not in like your right mind, right? And can cultivate that shit properly, right? But the law of Heru, the actual statement is, it's not what you're imagining, it is who is doing the imagining. Are you a human or are you a divine being? And so that should help me so many times, because there were times where I would get stuck. I was attached into something, right? An idea, a moment, a feeling, that anger, whatever. That's what helped me to master that third ring of anger. Like I said, I had, right? It was me being like, that's a human emotion. Am I a human or am I a divine being? I'm a divine being. And so I got the energy to begin to move through those rings. Lord of the Rings, y'all, master it. Master your own fucking rings first before we out here getting upset with everybody else's. Master those rings. Figure out who you are. Figure out what these experiences have led you to the perception of believing. Lots of women, a lot of times, be spewing, ain't no good man out here, and these niggas think da 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 da. There are. Period. Some of them are at a level now where they're at their Arsacian tests. And, right, they may have opened up the faculties and knowledge and a lot of things in one condition, but yet may not still be completely comfortable, aware, or even had the experience of how the divine feminine works. That all can be worked on. So it puts you in a position of no longer judging people for where they're at, but just being excited to see what are they going to choose. Like where could this possibly go, right? But you know what I'm saying? I do definitely challenge, if you're raising your kids, to just explain to them that both the genders are altars. Okay, so please do not train your son to go out there and be the same person that you're talking shit about when you're talking about all these niggas that ain't shit. Because then you're just perpetuating that cycle. And the cycle ate you. And you did not master the ring. Okay? I challenge that if you understand that your sexual energy as a man has been all gung-ho, that when you see that in a woman, that you don't use the word hoe, unless you're going to use it for yourself too. Or to even figure out what that energy is in the first place. Because it's much deeper. Trust me, it's so much deeper than what most people look at it and think that is. You feel me? That shit goes deep. We have that energy and that ability to access that energy for a reason. And those reasons don't necessarily have to be what you think they are. It is what it is, right? Grow. That's constantly the challenge. The challenge is to constantly grow. So that's it. That's all. I love the fuck out of y'all. Those of y'all that are at the faculties of your tests, I send energy to you. Like I said, this shit is not no easy journey whatsoever. But those who have continuously come back and decided that, you know what, I wasn't going to let the conscious community or whatever labels that was going on decide shit for me. You's a boss motherfucker and I love you. Um, Thank you. Thank you. My note is D for deity, the color green. I like that. Thank you. Thank you, William. Um, yeah, my my hair is purple and yellow. Long story. Terry, hey, good day. Um, okay, your frequency is high as fuck and is communicating beyond words. That's dope. Hey, Tarby. If there are any questions, like I said, you guys want to hit me up about something, please kind of do it fast because, like I said, I will be, you know what I'm saying, coming out of my messenger or disabling that shit for about 3 days. And then when I emerge, hopefully I'll be an entirely new motherfucker. Claude Schuler, good day. Hope everything is well with you. Witch Doctor, hey, no problem, Sabio, any day. And much love to you, Monica, and facing these tests that will allow them to ascend. Yes. It's funny that you put that last thing I'm going to say. I know I'll be keeping y'all hostage for like an hour and shit, my bad. But one day I posted and put, really, ascension, guys. I have some people that be like, you have to get through the Van Allen belt, and then you have to synchronize the proportions of the myrrh with the ka and the ba, and the triple triangles that emanate from the space of ascension is you linking your heart back to your brain. Don't confuse me with all that extra shit. Yes, energetically that shit might be happening, but it doesn't. That's not the way it opens up to me. But thank you though for the proportion of the context of the what? I don't know. But it's linking your heart back to your brain. That's it. That's what that is. So link it. Do the work. Do the work. That's one thing. Can't nobody do the work for you. And being able to recite facts doesn't always equate to the same thing as doing the work. I'm just saying. And I'm not saying that because you come to a specific portion of your test that doesn't mean that you haven't been doing the work. Again, we are being tested at different faculties, right? Study the Kemetic Tree of Life, some dope ass shit. Dope ass shit. It will show you a lot, not only about yourself, but about people. And you can figure out who it is you're dealing with and on what level that you need to deal with this person on. I love my tribe. I love the fuck out my clique. Them motherfuckers have catapulted me in ways that I couldn't even begin to go into without crying. It's amazing. The people that Spirit has pulled to me, oh my God, the situations that Spirit has pulled to me so that I could get this deep ass understanding that I wouldn't have been able to read in no motherfucking book nowhere. Like I was gonna read it and it was gonna, you know what I'm saying? It was gonna register on certain levels, but not the way this situation did for me this weekend. It was like, yo, I kept getting dropped so many levels. I was like, oh, okay, I get it, right? Well, that's the challenge, Claude, and generally that challenge is because a lot of us don't even know how to love ourselves. I did not know how to love myself at all. And every time I say that shit, it's like, wow. Wow. I had to teach myself how. It wasn't taught, it wasn't explained to me that I even needed to do that. I never, ever, until I came into this journey, got admonished before with loving myself. Therefore, I had no idea how to properly love those men. I'm choosing to heal it in an Ouroboros fashion. And like I said, when my sister Monica let me know, Jill, you went through that whole range of emotions in 32 minutes. I was like, wow. I realized I had done it. It wasn't so much about like me not even having the emotions. How would I have gained those perspectives if I had never had them? I wouldn't have got it, not on the level that I got it. I had the emotions and I let myself have it, but I also learned how to control it. Because when I started that ruminating thing, I was like, Jill, you're combining issues. You're combining this issue with, which is a non-romantic platonic issue, to issues that you've had romantically and platonically, and then connecting that to issues with family. I was like, nah, you do it too much. Right? And then when I came out of it and was realizing, okay, I was compounding issues, and no, I can just deal with this issue on my own. I was like, yo, that's some dope shit. For real, say what the fuck you want, but being able to observe your own goddamn insanity is some dope ass shit. When I watched the movie A Beautiful Mind, when that nigga was able to figure out he was crazy, that he had created his own personality, another multiple personality, which he thought was a person, actually two, I was like, this motherfucker here is amazing. It wasn't even nothing else in that movie that he did that really impressed me. He was breaking down codes for Germans. Okay. He was doing a whole bunch of math. Okay. When that motherfucker had the realization he was crazy, I was like, this bitch, that's the shit that drove, right? So that's what I did this weekend. I was able to observe my own motherfucking insanity and realize that that's not it. Call it what the fuck you want, but that was some dope ass shit. So yes, thank you very much, William. I will accept D for deity in the color green today. Yes, I will. How can you teach someone to love themselves? Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I think that the best way you do it is through example. It takes love of myself to get up here and to let people into things about me that a lot of people will more than likely clown me about. You feel me? And do that in the strength and understanding that I'm imparting that from a place of healing, right? With me personally too, one of the things, I'm an INFJ personality. So quite honestly, I literally said it to my coworker the other day. I said, yo, people be out here and be whole ass amazing, and they can't even see that they're amazing. That shit gets me every time. It's like, how can you not see what you are? But that's because we're always on the inside looking out. That's why. So when people began to say loving things to me, I began to show love. That's the way it happened with me. I can't tell you for everybody else. But I began to show love. I began to give them everything I wanted. And now it is coming back in droves. Holy shit. People out here showing me so much motherfucking love. People I have never met before. Some people I haven't even talked to personally. They watch my live and they hit me up and they're like, yo, but love yourself, please. So that you can recognize when other people are attempting to love you and you won't act a fool and throw them away and throw the whole person away. Right? 1,000 levels of emotions coming back to you, knowing that you are accountable. That's because you a goddess, boo. Oh, thank you, Catherine. Or Kathleen. I'm sorry. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that word properly. But that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. Like, we out here and we're attempting to learn how to love ourselves and to love each other. And so anybody that is putting forth that energy, like, I'm super, super appreciative of you. You're the real MVP. You're the one. Right? And it's difficult. I've watched women in whole ass relationships. Oh my God. I'm going to add this one last thing before I go. I'm sorry. I know it's long. I know. I'm sorry. An hour and 30 minutes. Holy shit. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm done after this. I promise. Okay. So there was this thing that would happen with me and I had to try to understand it, right? and I'm right. Yes, because it's with me. I'm gonna talk about the perception of women. All right. So one day I'm in here. I'm in my house and I'm watching Jack Reacher. Right. I'm watching Jack Reacher. I've always been my daddy grew me up on kung fu. I love that shit. MMA. I love watching that shit. Like that's my shit. Um, Silva for a long time was my favorite fighter. He had them long ass legs. Oh my god, when he would kick a motherfucker, so that shit broke. But anyways, um, right? Those things would get me like in this specific energy. So one day I'm in my house and I'm watching Jack Reacher. I'm watching Jack Reacher. And Jack Reacher is busting these niggas in the head, right? And I'm like, okay, this is cool. This is dope. And he says at one point, I will beat you to death and drink your blood from a boot. Y'all, I got so motherfucking excited in here. I was like, this nigga, like I was excited. And I stopped, I guess, and I observed my own insanity for a minute. And I was like, why the fuck did you just get so excited just now? You got some problems. You need to figure that shit out. So, right, I go in to look into it. I also actually ended up looking into it after I had this experience, right? I was upset with my partner. I was really, really upset. Really, really upset. But yet, I told y'all my head hurt was strong. I wanted to fuck. All right. I wanted to connect physically after that. Excuse me. Let me not use the word fuck. I know some of y'all be sensitive, like I am. Right? Sensitive to the curse words and shit. Okay. Sensitive to the curse words. Right? So I realized the same centers that are activated in a woman at times when she views violence is the same centers that are activated in a woman that can turn on her sexual energy. There's a lot of us, especially women, that do not understand this about ourselves, and we are confusing the fuck out that man. We just cussed his ass to all fucking 12s. Okay? We done cussed this bitch to the 9s, and now we want some dick. And we don't even know why we want some dick. And do we really want some dick? I don't know. I had to realize I didn't really want dick. That energy was just turned on because those centers are attached, and it's not conducive to me sending out the right message if I do that and then do that right afterwards. I had to learn that about me. And them centers be on, okay? As you can see, anything I do with fire and passion, okay? So if I get mad with you, just know like a little bit after that, I'm like, what kind of goat trick I'm about to do? No, none. Because I need to realize, right, there's a message that I'm sending, and that message needs it needs to be accepted. So I cannot mix the signals. That was big for me. That was big. That was a big ass shit for me. I'm almost upset. This is in a live towards the very end, because most people be like, oh hell no, she was talking for 3 hours and 36 seconds. So this part might be missed. However, right, when I understood that and I got that made a big difference with me. My messages were able to be received better. Okay. So again, know thyself. Figure your fucking self out. That's just gonna help you out with a whole lot of other motherfuckers. Again, they don't make you mad. You have control of whether you're mad, angry, sad, any of that shit. They create the circumstance to see, are you going to master that ring? All right, so all my Lord of the Rings squad up. I love you guys to death. Yes, Julian. I never forgot that shit. I still think about it. Damn it. I was in here mad excited for no reason whatsoever. Love you guys. Bye.